You know, sometimes we encounter those persistent subtle complaints, a kind of mental fogginess that just won't lift. Perhaps the lingering heaviness in the body, or that deep fatigue, the one that doesn't quite resolve, no matter how much you rest. These aren't just isolated feelings, are they? Often, they hint at something deeper, a systemic imbalance. In traditional Chinese medicine, we have a way of looking at these patterns, drawing on ancient wisdom. And few physicians articulated this more clearly than Li Dongyuan, a master from the Jin-Yuan dynasty.
Li Dongyuan, born Li Gao in 1180, lived through a truly challenging time: war, famine, widespread illness. He observed that many of the common treatments then, often quite aggressive, didn't really get to the root of people's suffering. In fact, they sometimes made things worse. This led him to a very important insight, which he laid out in his major work, the Pi Wei Lun, or Treatise on the Spleen and Stomach.
His central idea, one that still guides us today, was this. Internal damages to the spleen and stomach gives rise to many diseases. 脾胃内伤，百病由生. It's a statement that goes far beyond just symptoms. It places the spleen and stomach right at the core of our physical well-being.
In TCM, we see the spleen and stomach as the postnatal foundation, whole TNG Ben. They are the primary organs responsible for taking the food and drink we consume and transforming it into qi, our vital energy and blood. This qi and blood then nourish every part of us. If this foundation is compromised, if the spleen and stomach aren't functioning optimally, then the very source of our vitality is, by extension, weakened. Think about our lives today. Many of us led quite sedentary existences. Our meals can be irregular, rushed, often cold, or highly processed. Eating too much, or even restricting food too severely, can put a real strain on these crucial organs. These dietary and lifestyle choices, though they might seem minor on their own, tend to accumulate. Over time, they can gradually diminish the efficiency of the spleen and stomach. And it's not just the physical. Li Dongyuan also understood the profound influence of our emotional state. He spoke of youth's Sung Pi, how overthinking and excessive worry can injure the spleen. In our modern world, with its constant information flow, mental fixation, and pervasive anxieties, our minds are rarely truly at rest. This continuous mental activity, especially when coupled with unresolved emotional states, can directly impede the spleen's function, adding to that internal damage.
The mechanism behind this systemic disruption is quite fundamental to TCM physiology. The spleen has a vital role. It raises the clear. It takes the pure essence from digested food and sends it upwards to nourish the heart, the lung, and critically, the head. Our brain, our sensory organs, they depend on this clear essence. The stomach, on the other hand, is responsible for descending the turbid, moving waste products downwards for proper elimination. When the spleen and the stomach are internally damaged, this delicate balance is disrupted. The clear simply cannot ascend as it should, and the turbid struggles to descend. So, what does this look like in our daily lives? When that clear chi doesn't reach the head, We might experience that persistent brain fog, a lack of mental sharpness, or difficulty staying focused. When the turbid doesn't descend, we often feel a sense of heaviness, a general sluggishness, or digestive discomfort. That pervasive fatigue we spoke of earlier, it's frequently a direct result of the spleen's inability to generate enough qi and blood. It's a systemic issue, not just a localized tiredness. It's about the very engine of our vitality, struggling to produce the fuel we need to thrive.
Li Dongyuan's perspective offers us a deep understanding. These seemingly separate symptoms are, in fact, interconnected. They often stem from a compromised foundation. It's a systemic view of health, one that encourages us to look beyond the surface and truly address the root cause. His work reminds us that genuine well-being really does begin with nurturing our spleen and stomach, the very wellspring of our vitality. His insights, developed so many centuries ago, continue to illuminate the intricate relationship between what we eat, how we feel, and our overall health. They invite us to approach our daily lives with a bit more mindfulness, recognizing the profound impact even small choices can have on our internal landscape.
What Li Dongyuan pointed to is something we still see every day. Not always obvious, but once you start looking this way, it becomes difficult to ignore. Thank you for taking this time with me, exploring the enduring wisdom of Li Dongyuan. I hope his perspective gives you a different way of looking at health, especially the role of the spleen and the stomach. We can continue this in the next episode.